This is Hayden Sparks. I'm here in Houston at the Republican Party of Texas Convention with Lauren Davis, the Republican nominee for a Dallas County Judge. Ms. Davis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Right out of the gate, I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Okay.
You are facing a formidable opponent.
Yes.
Judge Clay Jenkins is an institution politically in Dallas County. How do you, as a conservative in an urban county, plan to take down this high-profile North Texas Democrat?
Yes, well, a couple different ways, but one is hard work, and I still think hard work wins out in America. And so a lot of times I'm finding, apathy, and that can get the best of the Republicans thinking, oh, it's not winnable. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I've been fighting uphill battles my whole life. It's hard to stay in business. It's hard to stay in business in COVID. And so the first thing is believing it's winnable and working hard towards that. And so we've got a lot of different strategies and doing all the things we're supposed to. But if we continue to play not to lose or think things aren't winnable, therefore we don't try, we'll continue to lose. You get 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely.
So we'll go there.
So Judge Jenkins has not faced re-election since he instituted all the restrictions during the COVID-19 pandemic. What would you have done differently, and how would you handle future public health emergencies as Dallas County Judge?
Sure. One, I think you have to look at it holistically, and you cannot sit there and take one group's opinion. And to have vaccines and masks and shutdowns be our only option out of this was wrong and immoral. So what I would have done different is just, one, simply not shut down and provide Dallas County residents with all of the information and allowed them and believed in them that they could make their own health decisions. One of the biggest factors in health policy is poverty. And so shutting down, especially service-based businesses where you have hourly employees, to go put them in greater poverty is one of the number one predictors of bad health outcomes. So it was just illogical at its base, and I would never have singularly looked at an issue like that in that way. And so I would like to believe that I would have been a leader who would have held the line regardless of the pressure and stayed open. So it's just simple as that.
And you have an extensive background as a small business owner, and one of the interesting aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic was the dynamic of even Commissioner Koch and Commissioner Price agreeing that Judge Jenkins' measures were not ideal. In Dallas County, there's a lot of division between, for instance, neighborhoods like Highland Park and Oak Cliff, and there's debating about equality, racial issues, economic issues. What would you do as Dallas County Judge, which, by the way, is a chief executive? It's a little bit of a misnomer.
Yes.
What would you do as Dallas County Judge to potentially bring Dallas residents around shared values and maybe alleviate this image of Dallas County or Dallas being a divided community?
Yeah, I think one, in order, and I've learned this in business, and we have a barbershop business called the Gents Place, and we hire people from all walks of life, from all, sexuality perspectives, from all different races, religions, backgrounds, all different. And when you can have a common goal, common shared value of excellence and everybody winning, then you can build on that. And so all of a sudden, some of these things don't matter, and we also don't participate in conversations and fighting that is unproductive and takes our eye off of the main goal. So I think it's having a leader who can hold the vision of everybody winning on excellence, empowering everybody in the county to be the best version of themselves, and having appreciation for people at all levels of life. I've worked with the homeless in homeless outreach capacities, and I cannot go on the street and help anybody in that current situation of being homeless without appreciating who they are and where they're at right now. I don't look at them and go, you should this or you should that. I heard from a great life coach we had in our life. He said, get rid of that word, you should, all over yourself. It's so funny, but it sticks in my mind. And when you do that to somebody, it's not okay. And so I won't do that to Dallas County. We will appreciate everyone at every level of life they're at right now, and then help them with putting in and growing the economy in a way that allows people to be the best version of themselves where they want to be. And that's not always the same. Some people don't want to be a manager of a local shop. They just want to work and go home. And we should appreciate that person just as much as one that wants to rise the ranks and be a CEO one day.
Certainly.
And so I think that just having that perspective, that value, that's something we've done in our business, and seeing people grow at all levels will make a massive difference in Dallas County and bridge any divide there will be.
Well, we've talked a lot about some things that might be wrong in the COVID-19 pandemic, but looking forward to the future, what are some policy priorities that you would institute as the chief executive of a major county in Texas and in the U.S. to improve the condition of the county?
Yes, well, I look at it from a business perspective because that's where my perspective comes from. And there's 3 metrics right now that aren't going well that need a complete turnaround. And any CEO would have been fired a long time ago. And that is, our population is declining. All of the DFW surrounding counties are increasing, and Dallas County's population decreased by 1.1%. Then the poverty, well, that's decreasing. Our poverty is increasing, the highest of all the counties, 13.7%. And then our crime, our homicide, I believe they just came out with this, is up 50%. Our violent crime is up. And those are 3 metrics that people cannot thrive in. And so I would take and look at all the departments, from elections to human resources, IT, sheriff's department, and evaluate where the efficiencies are. We have 6,000 county employees. Are they empowered to be the best version of themselves in order to be the best version of Dallas County? I mean, we need to look at those things, and the results and the turnaround will happen. So if we have people looking at it from that perspective. So, you know, my goal in a policy or improvement or positive perspective is to identify all the things that we can turn those specific metrics around, because if we're safe, we're growing, and people are making more money and experiencing less poverty, then everything else fixes itself.
Well, Ms. Davis, thank you so much for joining us. It's nice to hear about local politics. We've had a lot of discussion about statewide politics, and I lived in Dallas not long ago, so it's nice to hear how things are going in Dallas. Ms. Davis, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.